Come on in here. I'm not going to be here long. I just want to talk to you guys about a few things that I was thinking about, you know. I was thinking about us learning how to be more independent. And when I say independent, I don't want to say it in a way um like we not out here taking care of our business, because I'm not saying it in that manner. I'm just saying like us not being totally dependent on outside sources to help us along the way. I want us to depend more on ourself, self dependence, doing evaluations on ourselves constantly, and seeing where we have areas in our life that we need to focus on. And the more that we focus on, I'm not going to say perfecting our own flaws, but redirecting ourselves when we are going in the wrong direction, because other people are definitely going to point out your flaws. They're going to talk about your flaws more than they talk about your accomplishments or anything else. And before you wait for someone else to point out your flaws, we can point out our own flaws and just start to kind of work out and figure out some things that we can better about ourselves so we can be more dependent on ourselves. The last thing you want to do is feel like you can't be able to depend on your own self. You want to be able to rely on yourself. It's called self-reliance. That's what I'm getting at. Self-reliance, just being able to count on you, being able to be there for you. You don't want to be not able to trust yourself with your finances, or not trust yourself going into a relationship or a new job or whatever. You want to be able to adjust yourself where you have enough confidence within yourself where you can say, I know I'm able to maintain this certain thing. I really want this for myself. I trust me. I work hard enough. I know enough. It's time for me to be able to start to apply the things that I know to my life so it can be what I want it to be, so I won't have to keep going back and forth and all that stuff. Sometimes you just get tired. You get tired of going back and forth through the same revolving door, over and over and over again, that is not leading you anywhere. So we want that freedom. We want to be able to say we are free enough to do the things that we always said we wanted to do for ourselves, to be able to say we're able to accomplish some goals. We are getting down to the end of 2023. Oh my gosh. That was so weird just saying that just now, because the end of the year is like here now. Before we know it, it's going to be a whole entire new year. So I want us to be able to think about what we want to do to make next year look better than this year. That was really the point of my Happy New You goal, which, oh man, mainly I count the weeks. So I haven't been counting the weeks, but I have been accomplishing goals. So I do see myself getting further, and I do refer back to my list of goals and see, how far, excuse me, I have came since I created these goals for myself. I do evaluation on myself. Am I getting any further ahead? Do I see myself making any progress? And all of those things. And it's okay if you don't see yourself making progress while accomplishing goals, because that just means go back and see what you need to do to make progress. You have these things in your heart and in your mind, and things that you tell yourself that you want to do. We imagine seeing ourselves living a certain kind of life, and there's no reason why we can't live the life that we always wanted to live. The only thing that stands in between us and the life that we want to live is us, because us as human beings constantly tell ourselves what we cannot do, opposed to just going out there and doing what we really want to do. We can like literally be in the way of our own future, our own goals, our own hopes and dreams, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's time to get out of our own way. That's a good idea. It's a good idea to just kind of remove yourself from out of your own way. I hear people talking about how hard it is and how hard that sounds and how hard it's going to be to try to accomplish a certain amount of goals or whatever. And either way, it's going to be hard. Like, you're not going to get around it being hard. It's hard not to do those things. It's hard not to live a life that you aspire to live. It's hard to not obtain a certain amount of peace in your mind that you want to obtain. It's hard to be unhappy. A lot of people work hard for their happiness, which is not such a bad idea. Work for your happiness. Anything that is worth having, you have to work for it. But it's hard living a life that is not pleasing to us. So it's better for us to just go ahead and pick your heart. I mean, some of us have picked our heart. Some of us choose to not move forward with putting our best foot forward and doing what we know we need to do to get to where we want to be. And some of us are really laid back with our lives, and some of us are the type of people that just wait for the thing to happen opposed to making it happen the way that we want it to happen. Some people just take it how it comes. And I mean, we have two types of people in this world: people who make things happen and people who wait for it to see what's going to happen. So it's up to you which type of person that you want to be. You know, me personally, I want to be able to make things happen for myself. Not only am I extremely proud of myself when I do things to accomplish goals, I set certain standards for myself and I reach those standards and I reach those goals, and I refuse to settle for less than I know that I am worth. It makes me feel extremely good about myself, knowing that I have set the bar to a certain level and I'm not allowing it to budge, opposed to just getting it however, you know, people want to dish out, you know, whatever to you. And that can be as far as relationships are concerned, that can be as far as career moves or whatever. People, they say, you know, I'm going to pay you a certain amount of money and, you know, no more. I'm not giving you what you asked for or whatever. It's up to you whether you want to settle for less than what you are worth or not. So I'm the or not. I'm not ever going to settle for less than what I'm worth. I was watching a motivational video with Jay-Z. And I think it was an interview with Jay-Z and Warren Buffett, or it might have just been Jay-Z. Jay-Z has made major accomplishments in his life. I don't know a person out here who hasn't heard his name before, but he said basically never settle for less than what you are worth. And that is, of course, as Jay-Z has made major accomplishments in his life, but I'm sure he didn't just get there without setting high standards for himself. If he just took, you know, settle for less, even when it was hard for him to turn down, you know, whatever, he probably really needed it at the time, and he chose to pass on the offer and set the bar high for himself, and someone was really willing to pay him what he knew he was worth. And sometimes we just have to, you know, pass up the offer And that can be with a relationship. Some people just settle for less than what they know that they are worth. And we suffer the consequences for those type of decisions that we make for ourselves. And on top of that, no one makes us settle for less than what we are worth. Those are decisions that we make on our own. It's up to us whether we're going to set the bar high for ourselves and stick to it. So, yeah, me personally, I have always been the type of person who has been very independent. And that is just how I have always been. I hate asking people for stuff. I'm allowing myself to be a little more vulnerable now, and not be afraid to ask for help when I need help, or talk to someone, or allow people into my life and all that kind of stuff. But we don't want to be dependent on anybody or anything. The only source that I want to tap in is the highest source, and that's God. Because all great things come from our higher power, and that's whatever you choose to call your religion, whatever religion that you fall under, or whomever you choose to call your God. That's the only source that we should be dependent on. And even with us being dependent on the ultimate highest source, God teaches us how to be independent. So there's nothing wrong with being independent, not being dependent on a relationship, or being dependent on it really gives me like certain medications. I know some of us have certain health problems where we have to take prescribed medications and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that if there is anything that we can do in our power that is worth freeing us from all of those things, it is worth us taking the time out to do them. So by all means, we should learn how to be more dependent on ourselves and on our higher power, and nothing else. How much do you trust yourself? I was taking my son to football practice last night, and I'm used to putting the directions in the GPS, and I was like debating on whether I should trust myself to not put the directions in my GPS or not. And I chose not to put the directions in my GPS. I only been there a few times, and it's like way back in the cut, and I was like, it's a couple turns. I did it before. I know I can do it. And just that, me trusting myself to be able to do something that I said I was going to do. I was like, wow, I did it. Not only did I make it there without using my GPS, I was extremely proud of myself. And it was really a test. I was like testing myself to see if I can tell myself that I know I can do something, because I know I can do it. But I'm like, I don't want to keep relying on my GPS all the time. So I'm just like, I tested myself, and it made me feel so proud of myself. Like I was like in celebration mode in my own, in my own mind. I'm like, wow, yes. It feels good to be able to tell yourself that you are able to do something and actually go out here and do it. And even something as small as that, um, especially when you're in any state, is harder, going from being a city girl to living in the southern part of a state like Delaware. It's like country out here. Everything is roads and dirt roads, and I'm like, especially when I first moved here, I'm like, how do they ever figure this stuff out? And someone told me, they was like, well, the longer you stay here, the easier it's going to get. And I was like, no. 5 years ago, I told myself I would never, I will always need my GPS. I would never get used to driving these dirt roads and knowing where to turn and all of that kind of stuff. Like one wrong turn and you in Maryland or somewhere you may not want to be, So I'm testing myself in that area, and still with being living here almost 5 years, it's still a little difficult to get around without my GPS. But I'm so glad that especially that I'm able to use that for an example, especially with me talking about learning how to be more independent. I didn't even put those two things together, but it just came to me how I like really tested my independence yesterday without relying on my GPS all the time. And we should practice that, even if it's small things like that. Practice learning how to be independent. I am not trying to insult anybody's intelligence or where they are in life right now. And I know we are all adult people who have been taking care of ourselves for a certain amount of years, and your parents taught you how to be independent and all of those kind of things. But even as adult people, sometimes we can get dependent on outside sources. I started to say on the wrong things, but I can't say what's right and what's wrong for you to or not to depend on. Excuse me. But sometimes we can get dependent on outside sources when we should learn how to be more self-reliant. Those of us who aspire to be successful entrepreneurs, I believe everybody should want to learn how to be independent in their finances. Like, you don't want to depend on the government, or you don't want to depend on solely just whatever, a certain amount of fixed income, for the rest of your life. Multiple streams of income is always a great idea, and that is not just for some people. That is literally for everybody, to try to establish multiple sources of income coming in from different ways, and learning how to make money with your hands, and whatever how to do that you can make money off of. By all means, go out here and start doing that thing. Like, if you haven't been doing it, then you're behind in the game, because the more you do it, the more you make money with your hands. That thing that you love to do, that thing that you are good at, the more that you do it, the more you practice it, the better you get at it, and the more people will want to buy what you are selling. So if you know that you are good at something and you don't have no problem making money off of it, then you should be out here doing it. By all means, not just punching somebody's clock until it's time for you to retire. Somebody said to me yesterday, I don't know if they were talking about themselves or somebody else, that they would be able to retire in 5 years. And I was like, phew, 5 years, like, that's a long time to me. And I'm thinking about where I know I want to see myself within the next 5 years, and I don't want to be having to depend on retirement or retirement funds, or tapping into your social security once you become 55 and all that kind of stuff. I just see myself on a broader band for me personally. Some people are okay with that. Who wants to work forever anyway? You get tired, the body gets tired the older we get, and you want to be able to retire comfortably. Some people are okay with waiting for retirement and social security, some people are not. But always by all means, if you can bring in multiple streams of income, that is a fantastic idea. So just different ways to think about how we can do whatever we know we need to do to become more independent. If you have been struggling in your health and you are not taking doctor's orders because your wants are stronger than your needs, and our wants are stronger than our needs, because wanting something is a strong emotion, but we have to think about what is best for us and what we need the most. So if you know that doing something on your own will help add value or a better quality to your life, if you know you need to move your body around more, go for a walk more, so you won't have to depend on prescription medications as much, Those things wear and tear on your insides, the part that we can't see, but we can feel it, when our organs are struggling and all of that kind of stuff. And prescription medication are not meant for permanent use. They're only meant for temporary use until we regain our health back to where we want it to be. But some of us are fixed in our minds that we have to rely on this prescription medication for the rest of our life. And if you are to that point in your health that you do have to rely on prescription medication, do not deny yourself the fact that you can be doing things on your own as well to add quality and value to your life so you can live a better life. Some of us have young children, some of us have grandchildren, or young nieces and nephews, family, siblings, whatever, and your family does not want to see you struggle in your health. You shouldn't even want to see yourself struggle in your health. So not only do it for the people around you that loves you, but do it for yourself as well. It's no fun being sick. My mom would say that so much, and I never understood. It was like coming down to the end of her life, and she was still saying the same thing. She said it's no fun being sick, and you don't know what it feels like to be in my shoes. Because my mom was dramatic. She really was. She was a drama queen, and some stuff I just took as her like being dramatic. But it was one time where she said that with such sincerity, and I was like, wow, she must really mean that. And it made me sympathize for her even more, have a little more compassion on her. Like, she not just being dramatic when she says it's no fun being sick. Like, and I'm sure that it's no fun being terminally ill in that way. I thank God for my health. I thank God for the level of health that I have at 43 years old with 7 children, and I'm still maintaining a good level of health. And I don't take it for granted. I don't. I don't take my body for granted. I don't take my health for granted. And I know if I don't put in the work and do the things that I need to do to maintain a good level of health, I will not be able to sustain it, because it can be taken away from me in any given second. And I know that. And that's with me doing all the things that I do to maintain a great level of health. So if there is anything that I can do, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to continue to do the things that I need to do. It feels good to be able to operate and execute and do certain things at high levels, and be able to juggle multiple things and show up when I need to show up, and all of that kind of stuff without my health getting in my way. That's just one less thing that I have to worry about, is my health being a reason why I can't show up in life the way that I need to show up. And I know that that is not everybody's story. I know that some people can't show up the way that they want to, or the way that they need to, because their health just will not permit them to. But if there is something that we can do to maintain a good level of health so we can show up, then by all means I encourage you to do it. I don't want to go off on y'all about doing whatever you need to do to maintain a good level of health, but I am a very health conscious person. I just am. I love putting healthy things into my body, and I love doing multiple things on the weekly basis to keep myself going and to maintain a good level of health. And even when I'm tired, when I'm exhausted, I appreciate those things. It helps me get through. It helps my body want to push through, even when I have to do so many things. And I know things are going to get easier for me. I'm not going to always be at such high demand for different things all the time. God will allow me to make more time for myself and take certain things off my plate and all of that kind of stuff. I'm grateful that my children are adults and young adults and getting older. They still need me, but it is different opposed to having a bunch of young children all at one time. Trust me, I know I had children back to back. I have a 16, 17, and 18-year-old right now. So I know what it's like to have three small babies. Basically, they were all babies at one time, and I'm taking care of three babies at one time, and that's hard. But I know the more that my children get older, the easier that it is going to be. So I know it's not always going to be this I'm not even going to say this hard for me, because God gives me the will and the strength to do it. But I know I'm not going to always have to do so many things at one time, and my life is going to get easier. But still, I work hard and I prepare myself. I do things that I love to do. I help people and all of those kind of things. They are very rewarding. Of course, I need more hours in my day. Excuse me, just like a whole lot of other people do. But I'm not going to get more time. I just have to do the best that I can with the hours in the day that I am given. So what are you doing with the hours in the day that you are given? You don't have to tell me or anybody else, but hopefully the things that you are doing with the hours in your day are things that is going to contribute toward you being a more independent person, and you adding quality on to your life. We don't have that much time here on earth. We just don't. And that's just the reality of it. Humans were only meant to last for a certain amount of time. Some of us are here longer than others for whatever reason, but we have to make the most out of our life while we are here. And being independent and learning how to be self-reliant is one way that we can learn how to make the most out of our life. So let's do that. Let's do that for ourselves. Let's think of ways that we can not depend on relationships or someone that tell you you're beautiful or you're a good person and all of that kind of stuff. Let's try some positive self-talk. Let's try being optimistic about our future. Let's try being leaders and showing our young generation and our nieces and nephews, or the people that look up to us. Let's try setting a good example for them. We love them and care about them as well, and whether they demonstrate it in front of us or not, they are literally walking in our footsteps and doing the things that they see us doing. So let's set the tone for them to do more positive things, for them to be more dependent, for them to make better choices and more wise choices. Let's talk to them and tell them, what we did and the mistakes that we made, so they won't make the same mistakes that we made. We have an obligation not only to ourselves but to others as well. So that's why it's just important for us to continue to work on ourselves and to never, ever, ever give up on ourselves. So let's practice self-reliance today. Let's practice being more independent today. I want to do that for myself. That's just something I was thinking about for myself. Like, what can I do to become more independent? And that is in every area of my life. So I don't want to just like throw that at you. I want you to sit down and kind of like think about it. Think about different areas of your life that is important to you. The things that are important to you, your future, people that are important to you, and not having to rely on other people or other things to make you feel important anyway, because either way you're still important with or without those things. So let's build ourselves up internally. Let's speak positive, good things over ourselves internally. Let's learn how to depend on ourselves when we are alone, and when we are sad, and when we are mourning, and when we are hurting, and even when we are hurting physically. We might have ailments or whatever. Let's learn how to sit down somewhere and heal the broken pieces, heal the broken bones, or the broken skin, the abrasions or whatever that you need to heal on your body. Sit down and take some time out and rest, and do a self-evaluation and figure out what needs to be focused on and what needs the most attention. I'm telling you, there is nothing wrong with focusing on you. Do what you need to do for you. So if no one ever told you that, or if you haven't heard it today, then you're hearing it now. So you can start your Friday off on that note. Let's learn how to show up for ourselves, guys. Depend on yourself. Be there for you. Take care of you. Do what you have to do for you. Be self-dependent, independent, and self-reliant. That's it. That's it. I have taken up enough of you guys' time. I am done for this Friday. I may not be here with a life lesson next week. Dear friends of mine are experiencing the loss of a loved one, so I will be in Philly for a few days, just trying to help take the burden off of them. And doing whatever needs to be done to be there for close family slash friends of mine. They know who they are. They might watch this video. My condolences to you. I love you, and I am willing to step up and be there for them in whichever way I can possibly. Death, sometimes can be unexpected, and I don't mind dropping what I have to do, because I never know when I might need somebody to do that for me. And I love these people. They have been faithful to me for many, many years. Grew up with them for a very long time, and my heart goes out to them and the loss of their loved ones. So that for that reason, most likely I will not be doing a life lesson at all next week. The following week, I will prepare a life lesson. I'll make it good the week after next. I don't know what the life lesson is going to be, but look forward to more videos, more life lessons, more morning motivation. Go to my YouTube channel. You don't have to sit here for a half an hour or an hour 20 into these videos if you don't have that kind of time or that kind of patience. I literally have 1 minute motivational videos. I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube. I'm over 600 subscribers. That like crept up on me yesterday. I tapped into my YouTube channel and it was like more than 600 subscribers on there, and I was like, wow, when did this happen? So that is like so incredible for me. I'm truly, truly grateful. But if you have not want to true value knowing your worth on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, tell your neighbor, tell your friend. It is all positive vibes. You never know who may need a message there. And also my books are available on sale on Amazon. My first book is True Value Knowing Your Worth. My second book is Walking Treasures, Discover Your Hidden Treasures. My third book is Feed Your Soul, Your Personal Guide to Health and Wellness. And my fourth book is Religiously, and that is taking a closer look at spirituality and religion. Support. I appreciate y'all. God bless you, and I love you. Thank you for your views. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everything that you have done and is continuing to do to support me in whichever way that you are supporting me. My heart is truly grateful. So y'all go out here and enjoy your Friday. Stay cool in this warm weather. Summer has decided to make a comeback. We better enjoy it while it lasts. We may or may not have a cold winter. I guess we'll have to stick around, Lord willing, to see what kind of winter we have. But I love you guys. God bless you, and thanks again. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Do something for you. Focus on you. And don't forget our word for today. Our message for this Friday is learning how to be independent and self-reliance, and where we can start off with making those things happen for ourselves. Speak positivity over yourself. Reach for your goals and set the bar high. It's all about you. I love you. God bless you. Until next time, y'all be blessed.